years he's been here, and Jim Horner, well, he's got one of the best records in South Jersey, so we expect a fine contest under the lights at Willingboro High School.
And for the first half play-by-play, here's
Bob Fry.
There's the Willingboro kicking unit, the special team, as they get all set and ready to kick.
off, moving right to left for
The kickoff. The Chimeras have lined up, and deep to receive, it's Diorio and Burlco. And this night game is underway as the ball is squibbed off the side of the foot, taken by one of the short men right up at about the 36-yard line. And they fall on it right there, and that's where Cherokee will put the ball into play, as Darryl Strong just fell on that little short kickoff. And Diorio and Burlco never got a chance to get their hands on the football, and that might not be a bad offensive play. Drew France, the quarterback, calls the plays. We'll set the offense for you here in just a moment, as they have Kip Collick right down there at the bottom right-hand part of your screen. And now they send Carabassi into the slot on the left-hand side. First play and tripped up. That's Diorio, just as he tried to get across the line of scrimmage. He may have gotten just to the line of scrimmage. And it was Darrell Booker that came in and made the play defensively.
Okay, the Cherokee Chiefs are a basic club. They've gotten to #1 by being that basic and doing the 5 or 6 plays they know and do best. Drew France, the quarterback, McKenna, 25, the fullback, Diorio, the tailback, Burlco or Carabassi will be the wingbacks or slot backs out of the power I, and Jim Horner just runs those basic plays but comes at you and comes at you strong.
That's Burlco that goes over to the left this time. McKenna and Diorio in the back, and he wants to throw on the second play from scrimmage. Rolls right, fires, and the pass is going to be incomplete, out of bounds, as there are 2 Willingboro defenders over there. Pass intended there for Burlco, the kid with the blazing speed, as they had him circle around from the left side, and it was incomplete. And the quarterbacks are both there defending on the play, including Chris Moeller, number 4, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down play and a very surprising call.
All right, you don't expect the Cherokee Chiefs to throw the ball too much. They can throw the ball, but they are so powerful that you expect them just to come right at you and do it very, very well. The officials for tonight's contest, Bob, the referee, you saw on the screen moments ago, Bill Lyons, umpires Tom Reardon, the linesman is Van and Jay, and the field judge is Leonard Westman, and up in the booth with us, clock operator Marty Pocius.
And Marty has ticked off 56 seconds of this first quarter. There's nothing on the board. Cherokee taking the opening kickoff, and so far in 2 plays, they've been stopped cold. First series of downs, always very important, especially for the psychological advantage that it may give your ball club. That's Carabassi now being split way wide to the right side. Moeller will pick him up, and they go straight ahead, and just getting about 2 or 3 yards on the play, the Cherokee Chiefs, and it'll make up a 4th down play, and they're going to have to kick it away.
First carry by John McKenna, unsung hero. He's got 7 touchdowns, 5'8" and 175. Slightly injured rib, but they stopped the Chiefs on their first possession. Chimeras look tough defensively. That's the key to the game. Willingboro has not done very well offensively this year. They must stop this Cherokee defense, the offensive Cherokee, if they are to be in this contest.
It's like Rick Howie in punt formation and Brian McPherson back in single safety at about his own 32-yard line. It's a high snap from center. Howie's going to try to run it down back at about the 10-yard line. Gets it off, and it's still an excellent kick, and it bounds right by McPherson, and it's going to go all the way down to about the 32-yard line. Ball is loose, and it looks like the Chimeras, nope, the Cherokee Chiefs come up with a football. And boy, there's a play, John, that'll just break your back. The ball was snapped way over the head of Howie, tried to track it down at about the 10-yard line, turned and kicked. McPherson moved up on the ball, that hit and bounded by him, and he should have done well to just let it roll and finally be blown dead, but they tried to field it, it squirted loose, and the Cherokee Chiefs turned disaster into fortune, and they've gotten the ball deep in Willingboro territory.
An unbelievable turn of events. It's miraculous how Howie got the kickoff to begin with. A 30-yarder when it does finally roll dead and be recovered by the Chiefs. A tremendous break, 1st and 10 at the 32.
No way Cherokee should come up with that football, and I'm sure Joe DeVito feels the same way. Here's the wide pitch. This is Diorio. He's got speed. He's got blocking. Turns the corner and pushed out of bounds. Very close to 1st down yardage at the 22, and may have stepped out at the 21-yard line. 9:49 to go, scoreless first period. Tom Alvord is the center. Keith Lugin is the one guard. Mike Macarella is the right guard. Steve Carbone, the left tackle. Joe Ritchie, the right tackle. Tight end is Darryl Strong, and Kip Collick will be lined up normally at the split end slot. John Ryan down the backfield for you. He is shy of the first down about the length of the football. And John, you talk about that psychological edge after stopping Cherokee on that first set of downs. That punt really has changed the complexion of this first 2 minutes of ball.
Could have been a very, very different ball game.
2nd and 1 at the 23. You can see they're on the hash mark on the far side of the field. Penalty flags are thrown at the line of scrimmage. Look like the Chimeras jumped, and if so, it'll give the Chiefs their first down of the ball game.
Let's see whether indeed they were drawn offside. Encroachment call goes against the Chimeras. It gives an automatic first down now to the Cherokee Chiefs. Their first down of the ball game, but they are deep in Chimera territory after a tremendous break on that nearly blocked punt and then fumbled punt deep in their own territory.
Field's in excellent condition. It's about 48 degrees at game time. Sides of the field are a little bit soft, but the center of the field, the majority of it, in excellent condition. As the Chimeras have called a timeout, they want to talk things over, being shocked by that play where they looked like they may have had those Cherokee Chiefs pinned way back in their own territory after that high snap on the punt, but instead the Chiefs got the football back. This will give us a moment to take a look at the defense, and there you look at the Chimeras. Darren Long is the right defensive end. Jeff Trim is the tackle inside him. Rod Majors will be the nose guard. Paul Hauser, the tackle on the left side, and Scott Shaw will be the end over on that side. The monster man who will occasionally come up and play as a nose guard is Steve Dorsey. The linebackers are Ken Dickinson and Darrell Booker. And the deep man, Chris Moeller, who will normally shadow the slot back. As you look at the coaching staff, and Joe DeVito. The other defensive back is Melvin Long. He will cover the wide receiver. And the deep man, safety, is 43, George Pelouse. 9:49 to go, scoreless first period. Willingboro calling a timeout.
Don't forget, coming up on NYT Cable TV, we have some of the cream of the crop. Collingswood and Audubon with Jim Powell and Dan Doherty. Paul VI and Pensauken. We'll either have the Haddon Township and Collingswood or Pensauken Cherry East game for you coming up, along with state tournament contests. There's some superb schedule coming up.
That's Burlco way out left. And they go the handoff straight in the back, and it's Darrell Booker coming in to make the stop. They're going to hand off the majority of the time to McKenna or DiOrio. Between them, they've put an awful lot of points on the board. 12 touchdowns, tops in South Jersey this year for DiOrio. 7 touchdowns for McKenna. That's not bad for a guy that's number 2 in your lineup. Give him 3 on the play. Make it 2nd and 7.
Booker has been all over the field, nearly blocked the punt, has made 3 of the 5 or 6 tackles that have been made, and he is just a quality ball player at linebacker.
Carabassi now slot right on the 2nd and 7. Hand off straight ahead they go. This is John McKenna. Nothing fancy that time. Just let your center and your guards, Alvord, Lugin, and Macarella, try to blow them off that line of scrimmage, and they did it well.
That's that trap play that is the bread and butter of this I formation. The tailback, of course, with all the blocking in front, right or left, and of course that play, the trap up the middle to McKenna, which has broken many a score for this Chief team.
This will be a 3rd down call, their second 3rd down situation here in the early going. We're 8:43 and counting first period. There's nothing on the board. The Chiefs threatening. And Willingboro jumped again, and this is going to give the Cherokee Chiefs a first down. This will be their 2nd penalty in this drive, and you can see the call out there by the official. Offsides against Cherokee, and that'll make it a 1st and 10. And that's going to move the ball inside the 10 down to about the 6-yard line.
Call against the Borough, and that's the 2nd time they have given a first down to Cherokee via the penalty route. Now it's a 1st and goal, and would really be a surprise to see anything but the basic plays from Jim Horner's Chiefs now. The tailback off tackle or that trap play up the middle, they go to a power I.
McKenna is the up man, and DiOrio is the deep back, and they line up right behind the quarterback, Drew France. DiOrio, the 5-yard line, almost sheds the tackle, gets down to about the 3-yard line. Check the player on the far side of the field, though. The defensive stop over on the far side by the safety, George Pelouse. 5'9", 160-pound senior, and John looked for a while like DiOrio may get rid of George on that play, but Pelouse hung tough and brought him down. It's going to bring up a 2nd and goal
Excellent open field tackle by Pelosi. You're absolutely right, Bob. Looked like he was going to go for 6.
They are down to the 2-yard line from the power I formation this time. And they go straight ahead and in for the touchdown. Cherokee leads as Rob DiOrio scores his 13th touchdown of the season. Mike Maccarella, number 62, the guard on that side, and Joe Ritchie, the tackle, number 65, did an excellent job of opening the hole. And DiOrio goes in for his 13th touchdown of the year after getting a break on that earlier drive. They march all the way down the field and go in for the touchdown, and the Chiefs are up 6-0.
Well, just your basic play. They went left, then they went right, and they used Rob DiOrio, the number 1 scorer in South Jersey, and it was all very basic and very simple.
Here's the extra point. It is up, and the kick is good as Keith Lugin drills it through the goal post. There's timeout on the field, 7:38 to go first period, and the top-rated Cherokee Chiefs are out in front by a score of 7-0, taking advantage of that break provided on that very strange punt play, John.
It is a strange one. Normally when they get that deep and that much in trouble on a centering pass that is way over the punter's head, you see a block or the punter just get on it and take the 20 or 30-yard loss. But Howie got it away miraculously, and then the misplay at the other end, and what should have been first and about goal to go for the Burro wound up to be a very, very big break for the Cherokee Chiefs. And this early in the contest, I don't think it might be a trite expression, Bob, but it could be the turning point of the game very, very early.
Well, it's going to be Brian McPherson on the far side and Melvin Long to the near side back to receive, and they may be underestimating the strength in the foot of Lugin as he can really drill it. He's only taken about a 4 or 5 step drop. Moves on and he hits it high and he hits it deep, and it's going to be Long at the 11-yard line. Melvin comes straight up the middle. He's got blockers out in front. He's got good speed. Almost breaks through that line of defense, and he gets up to the 35-yard line before being hit and brought down on the play. In there to make the stop was Alan Mattioni, number 55. Keith Lugin, the fellow that kicked it off, 64, was also there to make the play. And the Burro gets their hands on the football for the first time in the contest with 7:29 left to go in the game, and they already trail by a score of 7-0.
Well, the speed you saw there, Melvin Long had a little bit of a crease and used his speed for a fine kickoff return, and that's the way that the Burro can score on you, because they have great overall team speed.
Well, the freshman Dan Dupree brings him up over the ball at 5'10", 160 pounds, the full house backfield, and here goes the wide pitch around the right side, looking for a little running room and not getting any this time, is Damon Chambers, 5'9", 155 pounds, and maybe the quickest kid of all in that backfield, who joins up with Darrell Booker, number 21, Rod Stuckett, 42, and or Melvin Long, number 20. Quarterback, as I mentioned, the freshman Dupree. The center is Tim Oliver, number 70. Steve Dorado, 66. Ken Dickinson, 67, the guards. Tony Danzy, 75. And Paul Hauser, 65, the tackles. And we'll see Brian McPherson, number 1. There he is in the center of your screen, bringing the play in, along with Paul Hines, number 85, at the other end slot. Lost 2 yards on that play. It's a 2nd down and 12, and breaking loose at the line of scrimmage and getting good running room is Damon Chambers, and Chambers is going to take it all the way. Chambers broke through at the line of scrimmage, goes all the way down, and the speed we just talked about is good enough for the 65-yard touchdown run. Damon Chambers, we got ourselves a ball game.
That's what we said, Bob. They're very explosive. That's what they did last year. Joe DeVito said, our kids really don't know how to sustain a drive. We scored so many times on the big play. We'll see it once again. Just a crack is all he needed. It was made to go outside. He cut it inside, and he was gone at about the 30-yard line. The last attempt, Damon Chambers with exceptional speed, 65 yards to pay dirt.
Now, looks like James Pittman will be doing the extra point try. The snap's a little high. The ball's down. The kick is up, and there's a penalty flag thrown. After at the line of scrimmage, the extra point kick appeared to be good. We got a procedure call, however, against the Burro.
Well, that'll kill you. The 2 5-yard penalties already hurt them in giving first downs to the Cherokee Chiefs. This will negate what looked like. We did not get a call from any of the officials on whether it was good or not, but it had plenty of leg. Looked like it was long enough and true. It looks like it will negate an extra point, and naturally the Chiefs will take that penalty, a procedure call. Evidently they were lined up illegally on the extra point try, and it'll be, instead of a 10-yard or a 20-yard actually attempt. Well, it's not a procedure call. The first indication was a procedure call.
They're going to move him way back now. And the ball is going to be back at about the 17-yard line or so. So that 15-yard penalty is going to make it a whole new situation here. Is just trotting back out onto the field right now is James Pittman.
Illegally kicking or batting the football was the call by the referee, Bill Lyons, and because of all the confusion on the field, Joe DeVito calls another timeout, their second timeout of this first period. Does not want to mess up the extra point try. There's Joe talking with Dan Dupree. And Bob, very critical here. You don't want to blow the extra point. It looked as though Pittman had plenty of leg, although this is going to be quite a boot now. He is teeing it up at the 25. It'll be actually a 35-yard field goal for the 1 point extra point. Doesn't seem fair, does it?
Kicking it that far, they ought to give you a little bit more than the
1
1
and a half, maybe, you know?
Boy, John, on that run, it really looked like Chambers was going to be stopped either at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. He was hit, shed a tackle. He's the fellow we were talking about with that great speed, and boy, he just went all the way, and nobody really had a legitimate shot at him. That's the speed, of course. The Willingboro teams over the years have been noted for their speed, not only on the football field, but on the track. Of course, the school that gave us Carl Lewis, the world-class sprinter.
And his sister, too. So, obviously, the team, the school that is steeped in speed, it seems. It's just a tremendous, tremendous school when it comes to athletics. And this is a beautifully manicured field as we see Joe come off the field. And the lights look in pretty good shape. They play football at night here an awful lot. Joe said 4 or 5 games they'll play here during the year. Of course, it's the home field for their sister school, the JFK.
Now, it'll take you out of your game plan on the extra point. They will run for it, or at least line up for it from the 17-yard line. They send a man in motion. Dupree goes back. Remember, it's a long extra point try. Throws it into the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. So the try for the point after is no good, and that could loom very big a little bit later on in the contest. Then with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left to go here in the first period, the Chimeras from Willingboro right back into this ball game. They trail Cherokee by a score of 7-6.
Well, not too much in a drive, as we said. This is an explosive Willingboro team that has not been able to get it uncorked all year long, scoring only 41 points. 2 plays, 67 yards, and Chambers goes coast to coast from the 35 on a 2nd and 12 situation. There's the arithmetic. Cherokee by a digit, and Willingboro has really been hurt by the initial mistake on the punt and also by 3 penalties. 2 of them, of course, got them first downs, or got the Chiefs first downs, and this one negated a good extra point.
Well, there was Bill McGrath, who was wearing number 33. The call on that, John, on that play, illegally kicking or batting, you're not allowed to kick it with no shoe in high school football. He had no shoe.
We have to talk to Dick Luttrell and see if he can requisition maybe a few more. That was on purpose, of course.
Dick's not real happy about the call.
No.
Here's the kickoff, and again, it's going to be a short one taken by one of the upmen at about the 31-yard line. Gets some good blocking, still on his feet and finally down at about the 41-yard line. Dan Cabahug, and he gets the ball up to the 41, and that's where Cherokee will put the ball into play. 1st and 10, and John, I guess Joe DeVito's got to be breathing a little sigh of relief after letting Cherokee off the ropes in that opening drive when they went down and scored after that unusual play on the punt. His team comes back and scores in 2 plays, gets right back in it.
Most definitely. We have had more action in this game than we've had in 2 or 3 other ones combined.
Defiance brings him up over the ball out of a slot right formation. And he hands off to the first man through, and still on his feet, McKenna gets some good running room. Finally going to be stopped on the play there for the Chimeras. Excellent defensive charge right there, as they had Shaw, 87 was right there, and John Rowley, number 84, was in there on the play defensively.
McKenna is a bull, as are all of these Cherokee Chiefs. McKenna, very strong up top, upper body strength, 5'8", 175, and a senior. When you get hit by him, you remember it.
Carabassi goes into the slot now on the left. We've got another penalty, or another whistle is going to be blown out there, and I think Cherokee, or check it, Willingboro has just used their final time out of this half, John. I
don't think Joe felt that they were lined up correctly against this Cherokee offense, and he did not want possibly a big play broken against him. Of course, Rob DiOrio can go coast to coast. Against Holy Cross last week, Holy Cross held him in check for 21 of 22 carries, but the 22nd carry came on his first carry of the game. He went 58 yards for a touchdown. So you can stop this Cherokee Chief team just for so long, and DiOrio is a game breaker. He's got 13 touchdowns, as we said, but he can break the tackles. You do not arm tackle a fellow like this, and Rob is a class performer. Last year, over 1,260 yards rushing, 1,379 total yards as we look at the Willingboro bench.
There's number 33. That's McGrath, the fellow that did the kicking, a converted soccer player, and he had plenty of distance, plenty of foot. Actually, too much foot on that extra point.
Too much skin.
That's right.
That is, of course, in the rule books, I would assume, or else the ref couldn't call it, Bob. But it's for people who are followers of pro football, it's a regular happening.
McKenna is the up man. DiOrio is the deep back, and he gets the football. Ooh, he's through the line in a hurry, and that hole closed up almost as quickly as it opened. Boy, they just really blew through there at the line of scrimmage up to about the 50-yard line. That'll make it 3rd down, and a good defensive charge coming up by the Chimeras.
Stopped him. Excuse me, Bob. Stopped him just as he was getting momentum for the first down. He had to get to the 41-yard, or just the 49-yard line, rather, and he was there, but or on his way to getting there, and he got really popped right at midfield.
Well, it's 3rd and 1. Tough play for both sides as they're up in that 4-man line in the nose guard. That's Dorsey coming up and trying to fill that gap. Almost looks like a flex-type defense. DiOrio, he did not make the first down. He did not even make the line of scrimmage. And surprisingly enough, John, when you're running against that defense with just the 4 men wide, Dorsey in at the monster of the nose guard slot, looks like you've got plenty of room, and they really closed it up in a hurry twice in a row, and it's going to be 4th down.
One of DiOrio's assets is tremendous quickness and hitting the hole very, very quickly. That time he did, but he was met by the Willingboro defense, and once again, they have been stopped, the Chiefs, on their possession. Of course, with that big break on the changeover on the punt, they had to give up the football. It looked like that way, and then the fumble gave them the football back, and they're going to go for it here at midfield.
They certainly are. McPherson still standing way back there, but they're going to go for it on 4th and short, and they give the ball to DiOrio, and the only man he's got to beat is McPherson, and he makes the stop. Only guy he had to beat. Everybody on the sideline was waving McPherson up before the snap because they were not lined up in the punt formation, and it's probably a good thing he didn't move up because DiOrio just scampers for 23 yards and a first down, and McPherson was the only guy that had a shot at stopping him.
I guess if you're number 1, you should be able to get about 1.5 yards, but they got a lot more than that, 23 yards. Look at him break through the hole, but there was a big hole there, and he tried to switch hands with the football. He had a blocker, but decided to go one-on-one against McPherson. That time McPherson made a TD saving stop.
Collick wide right, Burlco in the slot to the right. Clock shows 3:25 to go first period. Cherokee leads the Borough by a 7-6 score. Inside pitch, Burlco out of the slot. He's going to be dragged down and then run down from behind. Scott Shaw came in and really hit him and ran right through the numbers that time. Excellent defensive play.
That inside handoff to the wingback is another one of those cross-blocking plays inside, one of the basics of Jim Horner's offense, and it can be a killer. You get the team a little misdirected on defense, and it can really hurt you. That time, although that time Borough stayed home, stopped it for about a 5-yard gain.
It'll be 2nd and 5. They're down at about the 19-yard line. Second possession of the day for Cherokee. They scored the first time they had the football. Hand off DiOrio, little stutter step, trying to turn the corner, gets by Shaw, and then finally pushed out of bounds on the far side by George Pelosi, but very close to first down yardage. That kid's got plenty of speed, John, and we were looking for a lot of plays from tackle to tackle, but a couple of times on his big plays, he's been able to turn the corner.
He's got great quickness, hits the hole very, very fast, and that time went to the outside, and I thought that the Borough speed might close him off, but he still forged ahead for another 4 yards and another nice pickup by Rob DiOrio.
And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Everybody will be in tight. McKenna will be the lead man, and DiOrio right behind him. They're strong to the right side. It's Burlco who is the power back on the right side. DiOrio did not make the first down. He slipped and went down and pinned right there as he comes up shy of first down yardage.
9 carries, 48 yards, 1 touchdown for Rob DiOrio. He has had a 200-yard plus rushing game this year. Earlier against Moorestown, a quality team, he had 198 against Rancocas Valley. And Bob, we come to that 4th down, and it's nearly the same distance they had to go at midfield when DiOrio ripped one off for 23 yards on the 4th down play.
Strangely enough, from here, Lujan's got the foot. He could kick one from there. It would be about a 27-yard field goal, and he's right in the center of the field. But I don't see him coming onto the field, or at least not lining up in that field goal position. So they're going to try it again. It's 4th and about 2 this time. They really lost a yard on the play. 1:56 and counting, first period. The big play here for Cherokee. Handoff inside McKenna. He's got the first down yardage. He's inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Chiefs.
He's a money runner. John McKenna powered his way inside. Doesn't have the great speed that a lot of the other kids have on this Cherokee Chief team. Just sort of motors down inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. We'll give him 7 on the play. 1st and goal. Good block by Steve Carbone on the left side, and Keith Lujan, number 64, who is the left guard there. Carbone, the left tackle. They open up a nice hole on that play. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Chiefs looking to score on their 2nd possession, just like they did on their 1st. Hand off to deep man DiOrio to the 5-yard line. Penalty flag's down. He's in for the touchdown, but we're going to have a penalty flag, and I think it's going to be holding against the Cherokee Chiefs. And it was late in the play, Bob. I think it was an unnecessary hold. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but it was a late flag, and it was right about at the 1-yard line. And by that time, DiOrio had enough momentum, and he was going in for the score. And this could be the first big penalty to go against the Cherokee Chiefs. 3 penalties have really killed Willingboro.
Ken Dickinson there, 67, you saw him, the fellow that was looking over the play for the defense. There's the Cherokee offense. They move back, and there's the yardage being stepped off. It's back to the 24, where it'll be 1st and goal, and that puts a new wrinkle into the game plan with 1:23 to go, first period. Chiefs up by 1, 7-6, and it's been an exciting first quarter of football.
That I would have to agree with, Robert. 24-yard line, 1st and goal. Not too many real good calls, 1st and goal at the 24. I would have to say that they'll try to get 4 6s as opposed to trying to break the big one.
He goes straight back. Bryant's under pressure, and bam, down he goes to the 38-yard line. Scott Shaw, number 87, was there. In on the play defensively. They had a host of tacklers. Looked like Ken Dickinson, 67, was down there. Paul Hauser, 65, and a cast of thousands. There you see Dickinson, 67.
Oh, they really came pouring in. The fake, no one took the fake. He's down, he's in trouble. There were 4 blue shirts in there, led by Shaw and Hauser. A big loss of 12 yards back to the 36. Now it's 2nd and goal at the 36.
You got fewer plays for this than you had for the last call.
Yeah, I'm out of plays now.
1st and goal for 24 looks bad. How about 2nd and goal from the 36? Here goes the handoff. McKenna, boy, he just runs behind a wall of blockers. He is up to about the 28-yard line. Carbone again with a big block, number 72, on the left tackle slot. Boy, the kid looks good. He's 6'1", 180-pound senior. Speaking of looking good, Ken Dickinson was there to make the stop again.
Got about halfway there. No, only got about 1/3 of the way there to the 24-yard line. So you give him about a 12-yard pickup for McKenna. He has done yeoman work. He has really been a workhorse. 5 carries so far tonight and 30 yards.
11th play on this drive that started back at their own 41-yard line. And with that, the first period will come to an end. So after 12 exciting minutes of football, it's quite a contest. Top-rated Cherokee Chiefs 7, the Willingboro Chimeras 6, and we'll be back in just a moment.
With HBO to come home to in November, you won't miss the Oscar-winning story of ordinary people.
It's starting all over again. The lying, the covering up, the disappearing for hours. I will not stand for it. I can't stand it. I really can't.
Or the natural love story of Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins in The Blue Lagoon. And you won't miss an invitation to comedy.
You like to join me?
With Bo Derek in A Change of Seasons. Or a ticket to mystery.
Oh, this is elementary, my dear Watson.
When HBO Theater presents Sherlock Holmes, plus World Championship Boxing, when Benitez faces Santos, all for less than taking your family out to just one movie. And in December, don't miss Marlon Brando in The Formula.
First period score.
Their 1-point difference as France goes back.
He's got
Plenty of room on the sideline. Then the quickly closed up. He rolls across the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And picked up 10 yards on the play before Paulus came in and made the stop. Pickens was there with him, and France at 5-7, 1-6.
Of course, got to watch it because France is the holder.
There's the snap. It's down. The kick is up, and the kick hits the goalpost and bounces over, and the kick is good. And I don't think Lujan thought it was going to be good when he kicked it. He kind of shook his head, hit the goalpost, and bounces over. And I guess when you're the #1 team, things kind of have a way of going your way. So the 32-yard field goal is good. There's timeout on the field. 11:13 to go in the half. Cherokee 10 and Willingboro 6.
Just unbelievable. I have not ever seen that. I've seen it hit the uprights, but never the crossbar like that. Directly, right on top of it. Watch, it hits right on top. The question is whether it's going to bounce backwards or down, and it bounced down and through, as you saw the indication from the official. It is good. A 10-6 lead for the Cherokee Chiefs, and you'd have to say that the breaks have gone their way. Of course, when you're #1, you have to be very good, and you have to get a little bit of luck once in a while. That time, it could have gone either way. Lujan with a good boot, 32 yards, and I guess it was 32 yards right on the snoot.
It's one way of figuring out how far the field goal went. 59-yard drive, 6 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock, and 12 plays as Lujan has it teed up again. And he kicks off, and it's going to be McPherson, one of the up men. He takes it at the 22-yard line, runs across the field to the right, then straightens upfield, and he's going to be horse-collared and thrown down at about the 27-yard line. So he ran a lot of ground to get 5 yards on the return. And the Burro put the ball into play, 1st and 10. Their first possession, I should say, of the second half. And boy, John, Cherokee really dominated the stats in that first half of play.
This is their second possession, period.
20 plays for Cherokee, 2 plays for Willingboro.
So if you're a Burro fan, I guess you'd have to say that feels good to be still in this ball game.
Of course, if you can score every 2 plays you have the ball.
Not a bad average.
On the hash mark on the near side. And they're going to go to that short side of the field as they hand off and get about 4 yards on the play.
Not much of a hole to open up for fullback Darrell Booker as he plays both ways and does a good job. Booker powered his way for a few yards. It was actually a little bit more than you might have thought there originally. A 4-yard pickup.
Right, he's up. It's going to be a 2nd down and 6. Make it 5. They put it at the 32-yard line. He really did bull his way ahead. 2nd and 5 to 32. Good look at the freshman quarterback there, Dupre. 5'10" and 160 pounds. They'll go or try to go to the wide side of the field this time, and nothing doing as the Chiefs really did close it up in a hurry.
They've really not had an opportunity since they've been only on the field for 4 plays to check over the defense for the #1 ranked Chiefs. Darrell Green at right defensive end, Mark Lind at tackle, Wally Spargo at left defensive tackle, left defensive end will be Bob Edgerly. The tandem, men inside, linebackers Alan Mattioni and Bob Locasal. They're a pair of good ones. Wide outs, it'll be Rich Darnell and Dan Cabahug. The outside linebackers, Kessler, Howie, and Mellos are back deep.
Well, the handoff this time goes to the 2nd man through and he did not make the first down yardage. So it'll bring up a 4th down call. Boy, look at those orange and white jerseys as they unpile. And they're going to go back and line up in a quick formation, it appears. Anthony Phillips is in there that time. And it's going to be Andre Hines in punt formation. They tried to line it up quickly, John, and kick it before anybody got deep. And Jim Horner waves in the timeout from the sideline, and that'll stop the clock with 9:11 to go. Here in the second period, the Cherokee Chiefs leading by a score of 10-6. They lead by 4 points, and the Chimeras yet to pick up a first down, although they didn't get the touchdown on the 65-yard run by Damon Chambers.
Well, Jim Horner did not want to be caught napping, and he called that timeout. Both of the coaches are not wary of being or having to run out of timeouts at the end of the half, so that time he called it because he thought the kids might be out of position on that one. Did not want to have a penalty call against them because it's 4th and less than 5, and they could give the ball over on penalty to the Burro once again. 10-6 with 9:11 to go first half. An exciting first 2 periods of play. We've had all kinds of action. Long runs, fumbled punts, and some odd plays on the kicking game.
Now, surprisingly enough, as you look at the Cherokee defense, they have not yet dropped anybody back to receive the punt. Now they will. And this will be Carabassi. And this little kid can really motor. Andre Hines takes the snap, moves on the football, and hits it. It's a high sailing kick and chases Carabassi back to the 32-yard line. He has got plenty of speed, and he goes straight up the middle. He's finally snowed under at the 48-yard line. But an excellent return that time by Carabassi, who at about 5'4" is another one of the real strong men on this ball club. Tony Danzy, number 75, was first one down there on the special team to make the play along with Damon Chambers.
16-yard punt return. They were not trying to block that one. They set up the return straight up the middle to Carabassi. He's got tremendous speed. Watch him. Does not cut left or right, but goes right up the center of the field. The one cut, and now back up the middle. There he goes. Had the crease and needed the one extra block and used his great speed to pick up 16 on the return.
1st and 10 right now for the Chiefs. Top-rated team in South Jersey out in front by 4. Handoff. Out of the slot they come. Baruki. Blockers out in front. Down the sideline. Finally hit and nailed out of bounds by Melvin Long. Another big pickup. Boy, they get the runners turning the corners, John. The blockers are out in front, and they pick up big yardage.
There's a penalty flag, though, on the play, Bob. And see the #1 scorer in South Jersey with 14 touchdowns. I checked that with 13 touchdowns. Diorio leading the blocking on that play, but there was a block below the waist. And that's illegal in high school football, and it's going to be a big one going the other way against the Chiefs.
Well, John, you got to look at the yardage this will take away. They'd have had the ball down at about the 28-yard line in Willingboro territory, and they're going to mark this one off, remember, not from the point of the infraction, but from the line of scrimmage. It's going to take it back to the 32-yard line.
The big 15 hurts them that time.
Well, they actually put it at the 33, but there's the signal blocking below the waist. And with 8:36 left to go here, they're going to bring up a 1st and 25.
Second penalty for 30 yards. Of course, that's a difficult call, a difficult play to execute for a youngster. As fellas backpedaling against you, you're trying to block them and you fall against them. It's a good one, of course, to protect those young kids' knees.
Again, from the power I formation, McKenna and Diorio in their familiar positions. Diorio in his familiar position with the ball and trying to turn the corner. Tries to get away from Shaw, pushed out of bounds, up to the 40-yard line. So he got 7 on the play, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 18.
10 carries, 55 yards for Rob Diorio. Carried 22 times for 117 against Holy Cross in the big win last week for Cherokee. He is not afraid to carry that many times, and he is strong enough to carry that many times.
He had that great game against Morristown at 222 yards. 227 yards. And it's going to be 2nd and to get a long yardage situation. 8.5 to go in the half, and it's Cherokee by 4. Hand off again out of the slot, Baruki. And boy, they just ran right through his numbers that time. He picked up a couple of yards on the play, maybe 3 before Darrell Booker, number 21 from the linebacker, came in. We have a penalty flag was just thrown right in the middle of the Willingboro huddle or lineup there, John. And that's an unsportsmanlike conduct play, and that is very tough because that's going to give Cherokee a first down after the play and a very tough call.
Well, you just obviously try to coach that out of a kid that gets caught up in the football game, and either says something or does something unsportsmanlike. And, of course, goes against the grain of what you're trying to teach the youngsters there. But he got a little fired up. Cost a big 15 going the wrong way for a Burro fan. And a big break for the Chiefs because it really sustains a drive that looked like it was going to sputter out.
John, it may have been a little bit premature. He may be shy by about half a yard, and they may have to bring out the chains here. I thought from where the ball had been marked prior to the snap there that it would have been a first down with a 15-yard penalty. But now they're looking over on the far side, and they're actually going to say that it's about a yard shy, I think.
And I believe they're discussing whether it's a dead ball foul or not, Bob. That's the indication. They're really having a confab now. There's Bill Lyons, the referee. It is not going to be a first down. It'll be 3rd and short, so they don't pick up a down on it. Besides, it was just tacked on afterwards.
And it was a dead ball foul, so it's going to be a check at 3rd and 1. And again, they're strong to the left-hand side. And somebody jumped. That's Macarella. And go back 5 the other way.
A little something about the night air. I guess it's mischief night. It could be it, Bob. Kids are jumping offside a little bit. We've had 3 penalties now on the Cherokee Chiefs for 35 yards. And for Willingboro, 3 penalties for 25 yards.
So it's 3rd down and 6 call right now. It's much ado about nothing in the last couple of plays. Wide pitch. DiOrio gets a great block at the point of attack right there. Gets it down to the 45-yard line. John McKenna was the guy that threw the crunching block that sprung him in the backfield. McKenna at 5'8", 175 pounds with a devastating block that time to enable DiOrio to get back to where they were before that last penalty, John. It's going to be 4th and 1 at the 43-yard line.
Well, Howie has only had to punt once. That was a 30-yarder on the run back at about his own 10-yard line. They're not going to use Rich this time either. They'll probably go to that power eye and try to grab that 1.5 yards or so.
On the short side of the field, you can see the ball resting right there on the hash mark. Bryant's the quarterback, hands to McKenna. He's got the first down and then some. He's to the 39-yard line. Good block that time at the line of scrimmage. Keith Lujan, number 64, was one of the guys that helped him with the blocking. As you can see him going back into the offensive huddle. That's DiOrio, 22, and he's talking to his running mate McKenna, number 25. There's Lujan, 64, just in the center of your screen with a good block.
Just seems that every run that McKenna makes is a carbon copy of the other. Sort of just lumbers his way downfield and gets 4 and 5 where he should have got maybe 1 and 2.
6:41 to go in the half. Cherokee leads by 4. It's 10-6. Baruki to the left side. Plenty of running room. Finally pushed out of bounds and runs over onto the track in front of the Willingboro fans. Chased out of bounds over there by a couple of the defensive backs, Melvin Long and Chris Moeller. Picked up 15 yards on that one. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Chiefs.
Second carry for 20 yards. That was that student body left play. You'll see the handoff by France. And everybody, 10 guys go the other way. Here's France trying to seal off. And Baruki with a cutback and a nice block up front. I believe it was DiOrio himself supplying the block. And fellow with all the kudos and all the write-ups. He's not afraid to put his head down and block. And, of course, he's got strength all over the field. This Cherokee Chiefs team believes in the weight program. Unbelievably, they have 17 kids who can bench press 300 pounds or more. That's Bob and me put together.
I couldn't roll that much weight on the floor.
Wait a minute. Bob and I put together.
Put it on the barbells. Here goes the deep pitch. DiOrio turns the corner, gets away from Moeller, still on his feet, pushed out of bounds. Inside the 15, he's down at the 14-yard line. And looks like enough room for another Cherokee first down. They've done it on 3 plays in a row.
DiOrio, tremendous quickness, just that little shoulder fake inside. Watch it, boom, and now the cut outside. He's got the speed to go around everyone. Moeller was the man who was in initial pursuit, turn the corner on him, and DiOrio picks up another big chunky yardage.
Strong, the tight end to the right side. Burlco is the slot right now. They shift him over to the left side. And he's actually in a flanker position. They'll go right DiOrio, and he gets about 3 this time, and not much more. Macarella and Ritchie, the guard and tackle on the right side, trying to open up some holes. Shaw was there on the stop defensively.
Macarella with a great block. He is quite a story in himself. A courageous young athlete and young man. Has overcome various physical problems to even get out on the field and play football. It's a tremendous tribute to Mike Macarella.
Jeff Trim was also there on the stop. Got a yard on the play. It's 2nd and 9. Full house backfield. DiOrio a couple of yards behind the block by Lugin. Darrell Booker, 21, came in and made the stop. And the monster man, the linebacker there, Steve Dorsey, 5'10", 180 pounds, is also in there on the play.
Willingboro bending but not breaking right at this point. Of course, they'd like to stop them from getting another 6. Of course, Lugin is there to get them another 3 possibly, but it's a 3rd down situation for the Chiefs. They got half the 10 to still negotiate. I'm
sure they'd settle for the 3 here. Willingboro would anyway. I don't think Cherokee's going to be content for anything less than a score. Slot left, McKinnon, DiOrio, the running backs in that position to the eye. McKinnon straight ahead and not much doing. Ball was loose down there, and it looks like the Burros got the football. Let's wait till they unpile. Willingboro players think they have it. We have not had an indication from the officials. Now we do, and it's going to be 4th down. So the Chiefs maintain possession, John, and let's wait and see what they're going to call right here. The ball was loose for a while. The Burro thought they had it prematurely, but we never got the sign from the officials, and it's going to be a 4th down.
You made your own decision. See if his momentum had been stopped. He was in the grasp of a Burro player. Looked like he lost the handle on the football, and the referee's call obviously final on that. About 4.5 yards to go to pay dirt, and a decision to be made by Jim Horner. What a career he has had in South Jersey football. Coming into this game, 71-30 and 5 coming into this year. Cherokee in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. They lost to Mainland last year. Big surprise. We were coming home from a playoff game, Bob, to hear that Mainland had beaten Cherokee by such a big score, 42-14. And Jim Horner says the kids remember that.
There you saw the numbers. There's Jim Horner right there in the center of the screen as he sends Joe Burlco back out onto the field.
Go Scarlet Knight. Alma mater, an alumnus of Rutgers, New Brunswick in '61, and another one. Scarlet Knights up here in the booth. Rah, rah.
And it's not me. 4:47 on the board, 10-6 the score. Let's see if they're going to put Lugin in and try it again.
Bob, I think that's a pretty good piece of real estate to negotiate 4.5 or so, even if you are the #1 team and have a great couple of running backs there, and you got a guy who can really kick the football. You get a full touchdown ahead at 13-6. Not out of the wood, though, because with a 2-point extra point, you could still get nipped.
Now they're going to try it. They've tried on a couple of 4th downs already today and made it. They have not been stopped on a 4th down try. And they've got everybody lined up in tight. They need about 5 yards to go. They go with the long count. They come to the left side, almost tripped up, and he is not going to get the 1st down. Yardage for Burlco, and they stop them. And it's going to be Willingboro football. An excellent defensive charge. Darrell Booker, 21, was there and was one of the guys that made the initial hit. And George Pelosi, 43, and a host of others. Rod Majors, the middle guard. There he is, number 72. And 77 is Jeff Trim, and that's got to give your team a big defensive lift.
Well, they tried Burlco on that student body play, trying to get everybody out in front of him. There they go, the entire team going left, but Booker was there to make the stop, and they gained absolutely nothing. Physically, point-wise, a big play, but mentally, probably even a bigger play for the Burro.
11 plays that time, John. Don't have a lot of plays on the Willingboro side of the ledger. Here's Booker on the inside handoff, and he's not going to get too much yardage, maybe 1. They got just to about the 10-yard line. The Willingboro Chimeras so far have only run a total of 6 offensive plays, and by my stats, that was about 30 for the Cherokee Chiefs.
Well, as we said, I'm sure that the Burro would be content to just keep possession of the football. Obviously, they would love to score with this possession, but they do not want to give up the ball deep in their own territory via the punt now. Tremendous defensive effort on a goal line situation. They want to keep that momentum going in their direction.
There's the arithmetic. It's a 4-point difference as Dupree, the quarterback, runs down the line, hit and really snowed under. Excellent defensive charge that time by the Cherokee Chiefs. You don't get to be number one by just playing offense, and it was Mark Lynn, number 60, who was right there at the head of the charge. Bob Edgerly, 83, 6 feet tall and 185, stopped the freshman. It's got a 3rd down call, and still 9 yards to go, so they're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination.
The tandem to watch, though, just so powerful and quick. 55 and 56, the right inside and left inside linebackers. Mattione, 55, 6'3", 215, and Locasal, 6'2", 210. He benches 380. They're quite a tandem.
Backs in that full house formation. Here goes the wide pitch, and looking for a little running room, Damon Chambers. Chambers still on his feet, and he breaks through again. Chambers cuts back across the grain. One man to beat, and Chambers is going to go all the way. Damon Chambers will go 90 yards for the touchdown, his 2nd one of the day, at 2:37 to go of the 2nd period. Boy, he did it again on great effort at the line of scrimmage, as it looked like he was going to be stopped short of the 1st down yardage. Stayed on his feet, and Damon Chambers, 90 yards for the score, and Willingboro is out in front by the score of 12-10.
Unbelievable individual effort. Watch it there. He is going to be stopped. He should have been. He's gone now, and watch the cutback. Good block right there. Crack back by Andre Hines. Just superb, and the speed did the rest.
Another great drive, 3 plays. Boy, Chambers has been a one-man wrecking gang here today for Willingboro. Snaps a little high. Dupree, the quarterback's going to keep it, runs, and he is not going to make, or did he? Yes, he did. Dupree gets in for the 2-point conversion, and at 2:37 to go of the 2nd period. Don't go away. It's the Burro 14 and Cherokee 10.
Unbelievable, as they tried the extra point, or it looked like they were going to try the kick. Dupree, the freshman, showed a lot of poise, put his head down when he had to. Here it is, the fake, and now put your head down and go for the 2, and he did. And of course, very critical situation, Bob. It puts them out of Lujan range because they got the 2-pointer and they can't be upended by the 3-point field goal by the leg of Keith Lujan, and we've seen him kick a 32-yarder before, so he's got plenty in that foot. Just an exciting encounter in the Burlington County Conference. The big guys going at it. The Burro against the Chiefs.
3 carries for 153 yards, not a bad average.
51, I would guess. I see. The English was questionable, but the math, I'm right on there because of my background. But it's 3 for 153, 51 yards a carry, and Chambers has just been devastating tonight.
Missed an infraction on that extra point, John, after the extra point, and that means that Willingboro is going to have to kick it off in their own 25-yard line. You would assume good field position coming up for Cherokee. Diorio and Baruki will go back to receive.
Willingboro lost last year. They're just were dominated 28-12.
So McGrath has the ball teed up. Moves on it, hits it, and it's not going to be too deep, and it's Baruki at the 34-yard line, straight up the middle, and finally across the midfield stripe and down. And boy, John, they're really popping out there. The hits are just really tremendous. Ken Roach, 53, was there at 5'10", 170 pounds, a sophomore, to make this stop. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and what's been a tremendously exciting first half of football. It's Damon Chambers 14 and Cherokee 10 here with 2:23 to go in counting. Chambers 2 touchdown runs of 90 and 65 yards. Diorio, not this time.
Oh, the Burro's psyched now as they got Diorio behind the line of scrimmage. And it's Booker again.
And Shaw, 87, was right there with him. And again, Jeff Trim, who made a big play on that last 4th down play, was in on the stop defensively. Majors right there coming out, the fellow who was in the middle guard in that play. They lost back to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 13. Old Mo is on the side of the Burro right now, I think. sideline left and wide side to the right. France wants to throw. He's got one receiver out on the pattern. He is under pressure, gets out of traffic, and bam, he's hit down at the 47-yard line. Finally pitches the ball loose, and he got it back to McKenna, who was thrown back even further, back at about the 44-yard line.
Well, I'm telling you, those of you who believe in time of possession being a key part of the ball game, Burrow has not had the ball very often. 8 offensive plays, and they have the lead at 14-10. And these last 2 defensive plays have shown that they really, really are psyched.
Well, they've got Collick wide left. He's picked up man for man by Melvin Long. France goes back, wants to throw. He's got a man in the flat for the screen. This is Carabassi. Carabassi finally hit from behind by Jeff Trim, 77. Hello. Melvin Long was also there, number 20, but it was Trim, number 77 at 6'1", 220, who just ran over Carabassi at 5'4" and 145.
Carabassi with that tremendous speed got a couple of blocks out front. You watch that little screen left. It's Carabassi, bottom of your screen. Trim is going to catch up with him eventually. That's amazing. And he got sandwiched there, and he'll remember that one. 4th
and 10 at the 45-yard line. 20 seconds to go in the first half, and the Burrow out in front by 4, and they'll go for it. Handoff straight ahead McKenna, and McKenna got about 5. He'll be shy of the first down, and the clock shows 13 seconds to go in this first half, just enough to get Damon Chambers and the Blue offense back onto the field. So Willingboro gets a chance here, as surprisingly enough, John Cherokee calling a timeout to stop the clock with 13 seconds to go in the half, and the Burrow up by 4, 14-10.
That is a surprise. I wouldn't want to give the football into the hands of Damon Chambers once again. He has just been explosive. You could just run out of adjectives trying to describe his activity here tonight. Jim Horner, maybe they misread the signal. Maybe they misread the signal of one of the kids, and they did not want to call timeout. He is a little bit upset, back out on the field, as we said. 1961 alumnus of Rutgers University, and went to Haddon Heights 1969, had a couple undefeated seasons and a couple memorable teams. There's the Burrow bench, and they're really hopping here tonight. They got the football back, Bob, and unbelievably so. With 13 seconds left, they can get a couple of plays off. That's all they've needed so far.
They're in striking distance for Chambers.
That's true.
They're on the field. McPherson is now split wide left. There's a good shot at the freshman quarterback. He's going to keep the ball himself, goes straight ahead. And that should enable the clock to run down. It's down to 7 seconds, and nobody's going to stop it right now. So that'll be the end of a very entertaining and enjoyable first half of football. And I might add, a very surprising score at the end of 2 periods of play. It's Willingboro 14 and Cherokee 10. We'll be back with a halftime show in just a moment.
Your savings game plan will be a winner after you've talked to a South Jersey Savings and Loan Savings Counselor. She'll advise what savings plan is best for you. Money market certificates, all savers tax exempt certificates, or small savers 30-month certificates. You'll find several savings counselors in each of our 3 South Jersey Savings and Loan offices. In Glendora at Evesham Avenue and Black Horse Pike, in Collingswood at 627 Haddon Avenue, and 1501 Black Horse Pike in Turnersville. For the best counsel for your savings goals, talk to one of our savings counselors soon.
The number 1 ranked Cherokee Chiefs are down by 4 to the Willingboro Chimeras. Willingboro coming in at 2-3. Cherokee undefeated at 5-0 on atop the rankings in South Jersey as we take a look at the Willingboro Chimera Marching Band. Bob, it's been a very, very exciting game, possibly, or I wouldn't say possibly, I would say definitely the most exciting game we've had all year long. A couple of big gainers, 65-yard touchdown and a 90-yard touchdown by Damon Chambers. He has been the star of the ball game. DiOrio with 15 carries for 78 yards has shown why he is the top scorer in South Jersey. but the amazing speed of Willingboro has put them ahead by 4 points.
Chambers has really been a one-man gang here, as we mentioned during that first half, John. But let's go back to what we said in the pre-game show. The fact that one of the real key points for this Willingboro club today was going to be their defense. And they were able to stop Cherokee early in the game. Of course, Cherokee managed to get the ball back on that fluke punt play. But then a little bit later on, when they had 4th down at about the 10 with 5 yards to go, passing up the field goal and electing to go for the first down. And again, the Willingboro defense was there. So let's credit the D for Willingboro. That was what we were told to look for in this ball game. They have really come to the front. Of course, you cannot overlook the tremendous first half performance by Damon Chambers.
And we'll be checking out the first half stats, going over the scoring plays for the first half of activity here at Willingboro High School. But while we do that, check our stats, we're going to give a listen to the Willingboro Chimera Marching Band.
That's the Willingboro Chimera Marching Band at halftime, and the score is Willingboro 14, Cherokee 10 at halftime. The band under the direction of Mr. Jim Moran. Nice performance, John, and I'm sure that's the kind of performance the folks in Willingboro expected to see after that first half performance by their football team.
Tough to emulate that. The Scarlet and Navy of Willingboro putting on a tremendous performance at halftime and in the first two periods. I think I might have mentioned this is a Freedom Division game. It's a Liberty Division game in the Burlco. Cherokee leading the conference at 5-0. Rancocas Valley right on their tail at 4-1. Morristown at 3-1-1. First half was just about all Damon Chambers. What can you say about a kid who lugs the ball 3 times and picks up 2 touchdowns? He gets 153 yards.
They give him to my team, I could say.
That's why I want him on my side. 9 offensive plays for 167 total yards for Willingboro. And, of course, Chambers had 2 touchdowns, a 65-yarder and a 90-yarder. Booker, 3 carries for 8 yards. Dupree, 2 carries for 1. Stackett, 1 carry for 2 yards. Dupree missed 1 pass attempt on an extra point try. Penalties 4 for 40 yards, and there are some big penalties in there. 1 negated an extra point, and 2 of them gave first downs to Cherokee on a drive. Andre Hines, believe it or not, did not have to punt in the first half. As we take a look at some of the Burrow men coming back on the field.
It's Damon Chambers there, number 23 on the left of that trio there. And looks pretty well rested.
I would have to say so. He only had to carry the ball 3 times, except he had to run the length of the field most of the time. For the Cherokee Chiefs, 30 offensive plays, picked up a total of 153 yards, so total yardage is just about equal. 3 penalties for 45 yards. Check that, 35 yards. Big carrier, of course, Rob DiOrio, 15 carries, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown, a 2-yarder. McKenna, 8 carries for 39 yards. Baruki, 3 carries, 30 yards. France, 3 carries for -9. France completed the only pass of the football game to Carabassi for 15 yards. 32-yard field goal by Lujan at the 11:13 mark of the second period. That's where they got the other 3 points. So it's been all Damon Chambers for the Willingboro Chimeras, and it's been McKenna and DiOrio for Cherokee. As you might imagine, we might have to see the Chiefs go to the air because they're being challenged by the Burrow, a 9-man front, and actually saying, hey, try to pass on us.
That's exactly what they're doing, John. They've done everything but send them a mailgram, I think. They line everybody up in the front. They've been able to stop that big Cherokee rushing attack. We should mention one thing. Nobody has run for over 100 yards against this Willingboro team during the course of the year. So they've been able to stop the run pretty well. Their defense, the deep men, have been a little bit suspect. As you can see, the Burrow right there. That first half, by the way, for you followers of the stats, time of possession, Cherokee 18 minutes, 32 seconds. Willingboro 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Cherokee 36 plays, Willingboro 9. And it doesn't tell the story, obviously, because of Damon Chambers' 2 touchdowns. It's 14-10 Willingboro. As we get ready for the start of the second half, we'll be back with the third period kickoff in just a moment.
Now on J, your stereo and TV unit to bring you video music in stereo 24 hours a day. You better run! You better hide! MTV Music Television in stereo. You'll never look at music the same way again.
You work with kids because you want to, because it's your job, because you care about them and what they grow up to be. But problems do exist. Growing up isn't easy. And sometimes kids get involved with drugs and later wish they hadn't. Yet some problems don't have to happen. They can be stopped before they start. That's prevention, and you may have already started to do it. When you listen to him and help him make a decision, when you help her to understand herself and others, or when you encourage him to try again, and he does. Others can help too. Parents, friends, teachers, employers.
And a beautiful boot by Keith Lujan through the end zone and out of bounds, and it's an automatic touchback. And for the offense of the Willingboro Chimeras, they'll line up with the freshman who has led the team all first half long, Dan Dupree. Damon Chambers at left half, Darrell Booker at fullback, right half Rod Stuckett. They'll be in that wishbone. Andre Hines at one end, Brian McPherson will be a slot back, Tony Danzy, Steve Tirado, Tim Oliver, Ken Dickinson, Paul Hauser, and Paul Hines up front. No relation to Andre. Willingboro with the lead, and it's a fake inside and a looping pass looking for Damon Chambers. He's got him. At the 40-yard line, he cruises forward to about the 46, coming out of the backfield. Chambers with the long gainer, 26 yards, and immediately the Borough has the momentum going again.
Surprised on first down as they throw, and the completion to Chambers. That's the first completion of the day for Dupree, and watch this. He rolls, and a nice catch by Chambers. Stays in bounds, tries to cut back, and boy, if he gets away from those two, it's goodbye.
First and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Everybody in tight. They have that wishbone, and there's that basic play to the fullback straight ahead, and he is diving forward for a couple before Alan Mattioni stops him. That's Booker on the carry for the Chimeras.
John, before we forget, we should thank Dick Luttrell, our host here at Willingboro, the athletic director at both the schools, Willingboro and Kennedy. And we should also congratulate him. His daughter is the head field hockey coach at Hamilton High School, having just finished their regular season at 13-2. Took the championship away from Middle Township, Dick's old school, going back a long way. And I mean a long way.
A long way, yes. 2nd and 9 for the Borough. Content to sit here. Oh, I see why we have a stoppage of play. We do have an equipment change for one of the Cherokee Chiefs. Glenn Mellis, the left defensive halfback. Defensively, it's Green, Lind, Reichard, Edgerly, Darnell, Mattioni, Locasal, Cabahug, Kessler, Mellos, as you see him on the screen getting the equipment change, and Rich Howie as the deep safety. And they're going to have to waste a timeout. I believe they give them 20 or 30 seconds, and then it's going to be a timeout. So that could be critical later on in the ball game.
Right, and oddly enough, standing over there right in front of Jim Horner as we look at the near side of the field, there's Joe DeVito to the left there, and he is assisted down there. He's got Paul Collins, who is the basketball coach, also one of the football coaches down here. Strangely enough, John, they didn't take Mellos out, make the adjustment, then send him back in on the next play. As there you look at the defensive huddle for the Cherokee Chiefs. And Jim Horner over on the very far side of the field. So strangely enough, I guess they must like to have Mellos in there because they were charged with the timeout.
Obviously, you are correct, Bob. They didn't want to risk having him out of the ball game at all. He is their deep safety. Very, very fine speed. As we watch Jim Horner on the far side of the field pacing. It'll be a 2nd and 9 situation for Willingboro. Just underway, 11:19 to go. Third period. Surprisingly, the Chimeras on top 14-10. They have the lead and they have the football in the wishbone. Dupree, pitch back, Chambers, watch out. Whoa, tremendous open field shot at him by Rich Howie.
Boy, Howie really gave him a shot, but Chambers did not go down, John. He stayed on his feet, and you know, that's the same way he managed to go for that 90-yard touchdown. He was hit initially on that big run, and I think the defense figured he was going down, relaxed a little bit, and he picked up the speed, and that could have happened again right there.
Picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd and 7 from their own 49-yard line as we see McPherson come in with a play from the sideline. Dan Dupree gives a listen, and we'll see exactly what is called on this 3rd down and 7. Tough call, just about at midfield for the Chimeras. McPherson is down to the bottom of your screen. Split left, and we have some motion. Gonna be an option. Dupree takes it himself, gets a couple, but not enough. As once again, safety Rich Howie comes up to stop the play very quickly, along with Al Mattioni, 6'3" and 215. And another try at one of these quick punt formations by the Borough. Last time, Horner used a timeout. This time he does not. Hines will punt for the first time in the ball game. It's a high boot. Spinning spiral, takes a weird bounce at the 30-yard line. Now it takes a Borough bounce back to about the 23-yard line. about a 27-yard boot or so. Bob, that was a strange kick. It sort of spun horizontally, and then it took a spinning bounce to the left.
Well, that'll confuse the heck out of the receiver, I'll tell you. I think that was a bird hoot knuckle curve. It went up and really did kind of spin counterclockwise. You don't see many of them take turns like that. It's a big test right now, John, for the Cherokee offense. They get the ball for the first time here in the second half against a really fired-up defense that, as we say, has been beckoning them to throw the football.
1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Quarterback is junior Drew France. And once again, we have a timeout called, and Joe DeVito is going to talk to his Chargers about how they're going to line up on defense. Gives us an opportunity to tell you a little bit about the offense of this Cherokee Chief team that you're looking at right now. A high-powered offense that has scored 170 points coming in. There's a big number 65, Joe Ritchie, a 6', 205-pound junior right in the center of your screen. France, the quarterback. McKenna, the fullback, number 25. DiOrio, leading scorer in South Jersey, number 22. And there's Jim Horner coming out on field. Barucki and Chaz Carabassi will share the wingback spot. Kip Collick, the split end. Darrell Strong, the tight end. Tackles are Carbone and Ritchie. Lugin and Macarella are the guards, and Tom Alvord, TA, is the center for this Cherokee Chief team. And the Burrow defense is just taking a rest right now, as we've had an inordinate number of timeouts at odd situations.
Defensively, they've got Hauser in there now, one of the linebacker slots, but it's Long, Trim, Majors. Hauser actually will be playing at that defensive tackle slot. Shaw is the other man up front.
Got some motion? No, we just have a switch of alignment, actually into a double wing formation. 2 setbacks. One is McKenna. He's got the football. He's ripped down by Ken Dickinson, the linebacker, but not before he picks up about 6 yards. And once again, Bob, it seems as though McKenna carries 3 or 4 guys with him all the time.
Kind of like Dickinson, number 67. He has been in on quite a few of the plays. He's a senior. He's 5'10", 185 pounds. The team only has one player, and that's Hauser, the fellow we just talked about, who really played a lot last year on either the offensive or defensive side of the line coming back. As we said, they really were hit hard by graduation.
2nd down and 4th, their own 29. They trail 14-10 to the Chiefs. DiOrio, a quick hitter, and boy, he just needs an inch of daylight, and he can go. Got the pickup to about the 34-yard line, very close to first down yardage. He needed about 4. He's very, very close to it.
16 carries for 84 yards right now. As we got a player a little bit shaken up, we'll see this quick hitter just off the right side. McKenna is the lead man. McKenna with a nice block on the end, and then DiOrio comes out, and he is hit and spun around. He really did take quite a jolt. They're going to measure now. They did indeed get the first down as they just take the chains back, and there's a timeout on the field. 9:12 to go in the 3rd period. 14-10 the score, and it's Willingboro out in front. We still have not gotten the number of the player who was shaken up there, John, on that last play.
No, he is lying flat on his back, and very difficult to ascertain what his number is, and we'd have to do it by the process of elimination. And I believe they're asking for some help from the sideline.
So still taking a look at the player as some of the teammates come out, and we'll give him a hand. Team doctor down there, and let's see as they get up. And that's going to be Lugin, John, and it's the right leg they're looking at. The fellow that kicked that 32-yard field goal earlier, so he is going off, being helped off by his teammates. Mark Bohun is number 70, and Rich Sandone is 53, and going off, obviously, an injury of some sort to that right leg.
Oh, that hurts you. You're losing a couple of different positions, plus your kicker out there, and that's got to hurt you. 1st and 10, their own 34 for the Cherokee Chiefs. Top of your screen, they put Chaz Carabassi. He's in the slot left. Backs are in the eye. The tailback, DiOrio, has it. Looks to sweep. Gets around the outside, loses the football. It squirts out of bounds, picks up a few. But once again, the tremendous speed of Chris Moeller cuts off any long gainer for DiOrio. Bob has been able to get to the outside, but not to make the big cutback as Chambers has. And of course, you have to go upfield in order to get the big gainers.
Certainly do. Ed Patain, by the way, is the fellow that's in there now at that tackle slot, or guard slot, actually, replacing Keith Lugin. Patain, number 66.
Got more great action coming for you on NYT Cable, Collingswood Audubon, Paul the Sixpence Saucon, and on Thanksgiving Day, one of the granddaddies of them all, and possibly for the last time, Morristown Rancocas Valley. There we go, tailback DeOrio gets it once again. Very close to first down yardage, needed 6. He may be just shy, but once again, he's right about at the sticks.
That time a good block by Patain, who just came in on the last play. Tom Alvord, the center at 6 feet, 185, and the senior, and they're going to take a look at it and bring out the chains once again and measure. Willingboro coming into this contest 2-3, lost the opener to Holy Cross 20-0. Beat Shawnee 6-0. Lost to Lenape 21-13, beat Cinnamons 22-6, and dropped the contest to Rancocas Valley last weekend by a score of 18-0. As you can see, they're shy by just that much. So, John, if you go by winning and losing, they've won and lost every other week, and this is their week to win.
Not if you're a Cherokee Chief fan, it isn't. And another decision to be made by Jim Horner. So far, he has decided to go for it just about every situation. A third down, check that, it is only a third down situation, so he's obviously going to go for it. Added it down there where I shouldn't have, and it is going to be a quarterback keeper by France himself. And it looks as though he made enough for the first down yardage. So 1st and 10 for the Chiefs.
And the offense there and the countering defense for the Willingboro Chimeras. Clock shows 8:27 to go, third period. Chimeras out in front by 4, and the same pattern we saw in that first half. Time of possession and number of plays going to Cherokee, but they're still down by 4. Good test here for the top-rated team in South Jersey.
The rookie slot left. DeOrio, the tailback, loose football. At least it looked like a loose football, and France made a silk purse out of a sow's ear there. He got about 3 yards on it, Bob, as he said, let me get that football. Found out that he did have a good handle on it, decided to dive forward over his center, Alvord, and picked up about 3.
France is 5'7", he's 165 pounds and a junior. Only thrown the ball twice so far in the day. One completion, that to Carabassi for 15 yards. And on the other side, it's been pretty much a ground control game. Dan Dupree has thrown the ball twice, completed one for 26 yards at the Chambers.
Now we have Carabassi in the slot on a 2nd down and 7. DeOrio, the cutback, looking to go outside, and he is really not hit out of bounds, just forced out of bounds by the pursuit of the Barrow defense. They've had, at some time or other, 9 men up front just challenging the Chiefs to try to pass on them. So far, the Chiefs have not accepted that challenge. They continue their ground-oriented offense.
The best rushing team that Willingboro has faced so far, at least as far as statistics. They had 138 in that first half. And here in the second half, DeOrio has upped his yardage to 99, so it looks like he'll go over the 100-yard carry, and he has done that on quite a few occasions so far this year, but the scoreboard's still the big factor, and the Barrow's up by 4 there.
Have Collick down to the bottom of your screen in a slot right formation. It's McKenna once again carrying 2 or 3 men with him, and on the 3rd and 3 situation, he gets plenty down to about the 41. Trim made the stop, but not before. McKenna once again picks up first down yardage for the Chiefs.
21 yards on 4 carries in this half for DeOrio, 11 yards on 2 carries for McKenna, and together they've combined for 149 yards in offense. That's pretty much the way we expected to see it go for the Chiefs.
14-10, Willingboro leads the number 1 ranked Cherokee Chiefs. It's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs at the Barrow 42. This is the tailback DeOrio, short yardage. He may have gotten 2. Scott Shaw on the stop. We have 6:49 to go, 3rd period, in a surprising Burlington County Conference Liberty Division contest.
Surprising really does say it all, and I don't think we'd be telling tales out of school if we said most people figured this one would be a very high-scoring game on the side of the Cherokee Chiefs.
And only one way.
At least that's the way it looked on paper.
On paper. 2nd and 9. He only picked up 1 at the 41. It's going to be France to throw. Deep downfield. Looking deep. It is intercepted by Moeller. Looking for Barucki, and Moeller with great position. It was a little bit short, Bob, but Moeller had excellent position. Interception. The turnover goes to the Willingboro Chimeras.
They had 2 men out in the pattern. The one ran the short, cleared out the zone. The other man went deep, and there's Moeller, number 4, and he was right there in good position. Here's a little play action. Good pressure. Throws the ball. Nice throw, too, on the run, and right there was Moeller. And there's a good look at Chris. He's 5'7", 150 pounds, and a senior. They're kind of happy on the sideline.
First and 10 at their own 13-yard line, and there's a whistle. Could be too much time or an encroachment call.
Flags on the play, and when they blow it that early in the play, it's normally against the offense, although the Willingboro Chimera players down there seem to think otherwise.
Bob, do you remember your mythology from last year?
About what a chimera is?
Uh-huh.
Pretty close.
It's your mother-in-law to a T, right?
It's kind of things that are probably out rolling around tonight since it's a mischief night that we're doing the game.
Got it. A fire-breathing monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. The Willingboro Chimeras.
People have probably seen them New Year's Eve, I think.
Right.
A lot of chimeras around then.
Right. Chimera in a bottle. It's going to be a first down now and 5 from their own 18-yard line. Willingboro with the ball. They give it to tailback Damon Chambers. Chambers, once again, wiggles through a tiny hole and just scares the heck out of everybody. And he got a first down. 7 more yards.
Kid's amazing, and it's just good second effort, John. Damon Chambers is 5'9", 155 pounds, and a senior, and probably the closest thing they have to resembling Ron James, at least with speed and moves. James, of course, the excellent quarterback for this club last year, now a freshman playing down in Delaware.
In the wishbone. Pitch back. Cut back, upfield, good play, and Rod Stackett, who has not seen too much of the football here this evening, picks up about 8 to the 33-yard line. Bob, that's the second time he's touched it.
All right, John, carries the ball twice now for 10 yards, and I think that's what they've got to do. They've got to mix it up a little bit. The Chiefs have been kicking a little bit too much, as you see Brian McPherson bring the play, and there's that defense that's really been keying on Damon Chambers, and I would too if the guy ripped off a 90 and a 65-yard touchdown run against me in the first half. But the Burro's got to mix it up and keep him honest.
2nd and 2, first man through. Fullback Booker, I don't believe got first down yardage. He was met immediately by Bob Locasal and Al Mattioni in the middle of that line for the Cherokee Chiefs.
Pretty strong defense for the Cherokee Chiefs here, of course, going against a team that possesses a lot of speed. This Cherokee team had been noted for the offense coming into this contest, scoring an awful lot of points, but they've also been able to keep the other team off the board and also been able to keep them off the field, and that's one way to keep them from scoring.
Spargo in, Lind out with a minor injury on the defensive line. 3rd down and short. Booker gets the call again, and it is very, very close. According to Bob, he's pointing the wrong way if you're a Burro fan.
Boy, they just drove right through him there at the line of scrimmage. Excellent hit defensively. They had a good charge up there at the line of scrimmage. He had to get to that yellow chalk mark down there, and the ball is just nosing up against it. They are shy by about the length of the football, if that.
Joe DeVito, I believe, is thinking it over, Bob.
He's going to call a timeout and give himself 60 seconds to think it over. You got to look at it this way. Your defense has played well. Your offense is looking to generate something. You got a kid that ran 155 yards on 2 carries in that first half of play, and you got the length of the football to go for a first down. You're playing the top-rated team. You're up by 4. If you lose the contest, I guess everybody kind of figures that's the way it was supposed to go. If you win it, it's a big upset. So,
could you repeat the question, please?
I think.
Do I get 10 points for that one, or is this a bonus question?
Well, I'd go for it. I would, only because you've really got nothing to lose. And you've got to show, I think, the kids offensively and defensively, you've got a little faith in them. You're playing the #1 team, and nothing, of course, could buoy your spirits like going for this first down right here. I think that's what we've seen a lot of high school teams do, John. It's come up, line up, and just the quarterback and the center move.
Right. Or a long count to see if you can draw them offside. Of course, if Cherokee stops them, they're in great field position.
Of course, then again, you could kick.
Then again, they will kick. Notice how my partner has quick feet and quick lips. It'll be Hines back there, but I don't believe Cherokee believes he's going to do it. He does get the high snap, moves into the football. A nice kick. And they're going to let it bounce, and it takes a Cherokee bounce back to about the 37-yard line. So they pick up, I guess 28 yards or so on that, as opposed to being stopped possibly at the 35-yard line. And it's up to the Cherokee Chiefs, the #1 ranked team in South Jersey. By virtue of the Courier Post, Dunkel ratings do not have them on top. They have the second.
There's Hines, who just kicked the football, John. If Hines can get that ball to turn over, it could be a whole different thing. I mean, seriously, the ball hit and spun back the other way, and that's a big difference.
Here come the Cherokee Chiefs with 3:12 to go, third period. They have the football at their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Pitch back to DiOrio, tries the cut back, carrying it like a loaf of bread, tries to make the cut downfield, and he is stopped on tremendous pursuit by the Burro.
I'm going to tell you, McKenna, again with an excellent block. Number 25 in the backfield. He really did throw a good block, took 2 men out of the play, but it's the speed of that defense for Willingboro. Again, John, he ran all the way across the field and then turned upfield and picked up about 4 yards on the play. It'll give him 103 for the ball game on 20 carries, but just good defensive pursuit that time by Willingboro. Unfortunately, there was a penalty tacked on afterwards, and that'll give Cherokee first down up at the 44-yard line in Burro territory.
Guess would be a late hit, some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct call. Once again, that's a second one, a big chunk against the Burro, and that hurts and puts them in Chimera territory at their 44.
5 penalties for 55 yards, 3 of them, those 15-yarders, and they will just kill you.
1st and 10 at the 44 of Willingboro. France, the quarterback, McKenna, DiOrio, and this time they have Barucki in the power eye. They stay in it. They do not shift out of it. And it's student body left, and there goes Darrell Booker, linebacker. Left side comes powering in and does a great job of knocking him off his feet, dropping him for about a 5-yard loss.
Sounds like a new TV show. Darrell Booker, linebacker. Boy, did he make a great charge that time, and nobody touched him as he came in and just made the play. You'll see Booker, number 21, coming in here. There he is, just shoots the gap, and what a great defense to play as he throws him down for a big loss.
2nd and 15 now near midfield. I'll check it, make it 14. 2nd and 14 at the 48-yard line. Will Cherokee go to the air tonight? Inside handoff, and the ball is missed. That's Shaw with it. Downfield, he's got 1 man to beat, and it is Drew France knocking him out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. They tried an inside handoff to Barucki. He never had the handle on the football. 27-yard run back by Shaw, going the other way, and there is the big break that could turn this ball game completely in the direction of the Burro.
Shaw, number 87, has been Johnny on the spot. They never made the handoff, and there he is. Shaw picks it up. The only guy that can stop him is France, and it's really a foot race, and Shaw showing some good speed, finally hauled out of bounds down at the 20-yard line, and there he is, number 87, down on the sideline, and boy, he's really being mobbed by his teammates as the Burro's got excellent field position down at the 21-yard line, and John, we could see quite a finish to this contest. Lots of time to go, but a very interesting turn.
Pitch back, they're going to go on a reverse. That's McPherson with the football. Does he have the speed to get to the outside? Yes, he does, but not enough to get away from Rich Howie. Oh, they tried to get the big one all at once. Got to give credit to DeVito and trying to capitalize on the big break, but you look the other way and he lost 6 yards on it.
Well, nice defensive play. Everybody stayed at home that time. They almost got Booker on the play as he had the ball on the initial handoff, then gave it back to McPherson, who's got good speed, just could not turn away from the Cherokee Chiefs defense with another big play that time by the Chiefs.
1:35 to go, 3rd period. Burro has the ball in a 14-10 lead. 2nd and 15, first man through. They give it to Stackett, and he gets maybe a yard or 2, but they're going to be faced with a 3rd down and long situation.
Well, that's tough. That first down play was the one that really took the starch out of their sails, and I'll tell you, he's playing some pretty good defense right now for the Cherokee Chiefs. Wally Spargo, 77. He's 6 feet tall and 180 pounds, and he was in on both those last 2 plays. Good defense by Spargo.
Minute to go in the 3rd period. Willingboro, 3rd and 15 at the 26 of the Cherokee Chiefs. It's going to be the pitch wide to Damon Chambers. Look at that speed. He burst off the right side, past the 20 to about the 18-yard line. He'll be well shy of the first down. It'll bring up a 4th and about 7. Boy, Bob, he has tremendous explosiveness once he sees that little wrinkle in the defense.
Good look at number 23, and watch this. Now, they have the good fake. It's Dupree, the quarterback, who reads well. There's the first handoff, then the pitch wide. Looking for a little running room, but just explodes off the line of scrimmage. Finally hauled down out there was Alan Mattioni, again, number 55, that was there on the play. And we're back to live action.
4th and 8 at the 19, and there's a timeout whistled by Cherokee. Never seen two coaches call so many timeouts, Bob, in the middle of the periods. They do not want to get caught off guard. This is a big play, 4th and 8, as we see Dupree come off the field. He's going to be talking about the play call with Joe DeVito.
A little different strategy. Jim Horner out there in the orange shirt in the center. There's Joe DeVito. Joe, by the way, played football up at Bishop Egan in Fairless Hills, went to LaSalle. Of course, they don't have varsity football. He played on the club level. Then he went around and coached over at Monsignor Bonner for 3 years. Actually got a chance to coach John Capoletti in a high school all-star game. Was the head coach when Larry Marshall was playing over there at Bonner. Went in and coached at Cardinal O'Hara as an offensive coordinator, where they ran up a 23-2 record in 73 and 74. Went down to Vineland and actually down in Millville, assisted with Tony Cerace, where he said he learned a lot about organization and discipline with Tony, who's just been the excellent coach in Millville. That was in 76. Assistant coach with the fellow that's now the AD down at Cumberland in 77 and 78, Mr. Tex Robinson. And then up here at Willingboro, where he's in his 3rd year as the head coach, doing a good job, and had a couple of goals when he came in. Wanted to get this program turned around, win, and establish a winning tradition, and he has done just that on both the varsity and the youth levels here at Willingboro.
4th and 8 situation at the 19 of Cherokee. Willingboro with obviously a tough call. Dupree looks to throw, fires, got Chambers, out of bounds at about the 7. First down, Willingboro.
That's going to be close, but I think he's going to make it by about a yard or maybe 2, and that's the 2nd time he's thrown to Chambers, 2nd time on that same play. That one for the first down, and it's a very big one, gets him 1st and goal.
Oh, Bob, you told me that Joe DeVito says that this kid Dupree could be a blue chipper by the time he graduates. Throwing the wrong way on the rollout. Watch this spiral.
Here he is, bobbled the ball just a little bit. He throws it right on the money. The defender is only about a step behind him, and he just steps out of bounds. It's 1st down.
1st and goal at the 9. Went out of bounds, and they stopped the clock with 10 seconds to go, 3rd period. Straight ahead they go. Looked like it was Mel Long in there for the carry. Picked up about 3 to the 6. No, that was Damon Chambers. He picked up 3 to the 6, and with that play, we've ended 3 periods of play. Here at the home of the Willingboro Chimeras, the score, Willingboro 14 and Cherokee 10.
The House of Hardenberg has a new home on Haddon Avenue in Westmont. Since 1954, the Hardenberg Agency has been serving the insurance needs of the Delaware Valley. As you enter the House of Hardenberg, the same friendly people are there to care for you. Each a specialist trained to offer you competitively priced insurance. No client's concerns or needs are too big or too small. For the House of Hardenberg, serving our community, serving you.
Now, on cable, your stereo and TV unite to bring you video music in stereo 24 hours a day. You better run! You better hide! MTV Music Television in stereo. You'll never look at music the same way again.
Goal at the 6 as we enter the 4th period. Willingboro with the ball and a 4-point lead. And we have a penalty flag thrown as the pitch out was made by Dan Dupree. Got a backfielded motion call against the Burro.
And they'll probably take the play here, John.
I would think so, Bob.
Lost about 4 or 5 on the play, and that was one of the times when Dupree, the freshman, may have shown his inexperience. Probably should not have pitched out at all. He was going down through it, and they wound up losing.
A motion call declined. Actually, it would have been absolutely the exact same spot. 5 yards back to the 11-yard line. They lost it. So it'll be 3rd and goal at the 11.
11 plays in that 3rd period for Willingboro, 9 for the Cherokee Chiefs. And it's a real must situation here, I think, John, for both clubs. For the offense of Willingboro, they've got to punch it in. That would mean that Cherokee's got to score twice, and if Cherokee stops them right here, then they get the big lift.
3rd and goal at the 11. Backs in the wishbone. Dupree, misdirection. Chambers has got it. He'll get a few, but not enough. Good open field tackle by Eric Kessler, 5'11" and 175. Just dug the shoulders in, collapsed the legs, and made just a picture-perfect tackle. And maybe Bill McGrath has got his shoe on now, Bob. It's a field goal situation. It'll be a 4th and goal at the 8. Here he comes.
They've failed to convert on 4 third-down tries here in this second half of football. And if they do kick the field goal, it'll be from the 15 with a real tough angle, the toughest angle you could get. It'll be a 25-yard attempt.
He's got enough leg. He proved that on the extra point. And don't forget, though, that Dupree is holding. And he is the quarterback. So watch for the fake. Good snap. Deep enough. And it is good. You do not see too many high school football games with successful field goals. You do not see very many at all with 2 successful field goals. So at the 10:41 mark of the final stanza, the score is Willingboro 17 and Cherokee 10. It still keeps the Chiefs, though, within striking distance.
Certainly does, John, and that's one thing to remember. There's a lot of time left to go. 10:41. There's the Cherokee team that'll be getting the football back. They're an explosive offense. They scored over 50 points in one of their contests. They've got DiOrio and McKenna that can really get the ball going on offense. They're down by just 7 points, and that's a very big stat right now. It's good for the Borough that they scored. It puts the burden on Cherokee, and I guess the Cherokee defense has to be breathing a sigh of relief that they didn't let the Borough get in for that touchdown.
It's an 18-yard drive in 9 plays, culminated in a 25-yard field goal by McGrath at the 10:41 mark, 17-10. Borough up by a TD. They have Barucki as the deep man. The boot, end over end, it's short. Barucki will take it at the 24, cuts to the right. Little bit of room in the open field, and he's nailed it about the 38-yard line by the bomb squad.
Well, they got everybody down there in a hurry, too, on that specialty team, as it looked like Ken Roach, 53, was the first one down there on the specialty team. Justin Ware, number 17, was also there. And they were the first 2 guys who went down and made the contact. There's a good look at the defense.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Good field position at their own 38-yard line for Drew France and his Cherokee Chiefs. DiOrio the tailback, Kenna the fullback. DiOrio the call. Straight ahead, and he is stopped after a short pickup. Stop is made there by Mel Long and Darren Long.
Jeff Trim's just played an excellent second half of football. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, and a junior. He's up at the center of the line, and he has been just super during the second half. He was in on that play again.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Cherokee Chiefs in a hole. They need a touchdown and a 2-point extra point to remain undefeated at this very moment. They're down 17-10 with under 10 minutes to go in the ball game. McKenna the call, flag is thrown right over his head, picks up 3 or 4. Let's wait for the indication from referee Bill Lyons. Hands are raised by a couple of the Chiefs, and the call will go the other way against the Borough.
Well, Willingboro's just killed themselves with penalties a couple of times here in the course of this contest. They've just been murdered, and 55 yards in penalties up to this point. This is going to be another big one, so it's going to be a total of 70 yards in penalties, John. And a couple of those 15-yarders here in the second half have just really helped Cherokee sustain drives.
As Lions marching it off, that is quite a big chunk. Momentum is swung a little bit now with a couple of shots. And a little crack here and there. DiOrio could go from any point on the field. It's a personal foul, goes against the Borough, and it's a 1st and 10 now at the 42-yard line of Willingboro for the Chiefs. Once again, in their characteristic I formation, they put now Barucki in the slot left. The basic off-tackle play to DiOrio. Picks up a couple. Stopped inside by Darren Long, who's done a good job at the defensive end slot. 6 foot, 170 and a senior, and he picked up 2.
Got to wonder if France is going to like to go to the air. Moeller was out that time. He had the man in the slot, and the other wide defensive back was Melvin Long, and he was there man for man on the wide receiver. And Long is only about 5'8" or 5'9", as Willingboro is going to call a timeout now with 9 minutes and 1 second left to go here in the contest. And again, very unusual pattern as far as the coaches calling the timeouts. But one thing we should mention, and we said it at the start of this half, John, Willingboro has just been begging Cherokee to throw the football. They've had 9 men up. They've got Moeller and Long, our back, trying to guard against the 2 receivers. And, of course, I think one of the real surprises was early in the contest, France threw on the second play from scrimmage and has not really used the pass as an offensive weapon since then. He did throw the last possession, though, and it was intercepted.
That is true. It's very interesting to watch this chess game being played by Joe DeVito and by Jim Horner, as anytime they see an alignment out there offensively that their defense is not really put up against, strength-wise, they are called timeouts. They're playing defensively here this evening because each team is very, very explosive.
It's a team that likes to gamble on defense, John. They don't have 11 real super skilled players at the positions down there, and what Joe DeVito does is he will kind of shake the people up, move them around, gambles on the defense, looking for that big play. They got it on the Moeller interception on that last possession. They've gotten it on a couple of plays against the Oreo. They've been guessing and guessing right.
2nd and 8 at the 40-yard line. 9:01 to go in the ball game. Willingboro 17, Cherokee 10. Slot left formation for the #1 Chiefs. DiOrio has the football. In traffic, he's stopped. Once again, it is Jeff Trim on the pursuit, number 77, playing a great football game, helped out by the Monster Man. I guess that's only logical on mischief night. The Monster has a big one.
Boy, Dorsey was there, Moeller was there, and they just really read the play well. I think that's the key, John. The defense of Willingboro just reading the plays almost before they get a chance to unfold.
Great pursuit, too. They use that lateral speed to their advantage. 3rd and 9 at the 39 for the Chiefs. France calling out the play. The snap could have been an audible. It is a halfback option. Baruchi's deep. He trips. No contact. And it is going to be intercepted. Darrell Booker with the interception. Check it, not Booker, but Steve Dorsey back there as the Monster Man. It was underthrown. Baruchi fell, Bob, and it was intercepted deep in the dark corners of the field.
And he did indeed throw the ball up there, and there's a good-looking Dorsey who kind of gets the opportunity to roam. It was the halfback option. There's the pass downfield. He tripped. There was no contact there. Dorsey was right there. There were 3 men on the play. Finally hit and down on the play, and it looked like Macrello was the one that came back in and made the stop after the INT. But there's 7:56 to go. Willingboro with the ball in the lead, but still a lot of time.
Their own 22-yard line. What a hit there immediately. Looked as though it was Mattioni and Edgerly making the hit as soon as the ball carrier got the football. It looked like that was Damon Chambers getting the ball and really getting a pop.
Bob Edgerly bench presses ball carriers, I think. Everybody on this team bench presses something, but boy, did he throw a shot into the ball carrier that time. On the defensive end slot at 6 feet tall and 185.
2nd down and 11 at the 21-yard line for the Chimeras. It's time for the Cherokee Chief defense to get the ball back. Some motion. Fake the trap, the pitch wide to Chambers. 2 of the Chief men bump into one another. Looks as though he's got 1st down yardage. He had to get to the 32. I believe he has just about made it to the sticks.
His average has come down a little bit after those first 2 carries, but he's still averaging 18-3 at John as he's hold the ball 10 times for 183 yards.
Very, very close to the 1st down. They mark the football between the 32 and 33. Still no indication. They have changed the sticks. It's a 1st down for the Burro.
Well, they changed the down marker to first, but they didn't move the chains down yet. Now the official on the far side wants to call a timeout because he has not yet gotten the indication. Now they flipped the chains on the far side back to 3rd down.
I believe it's John Daly playing What's My Line. They're just flipping it now, $10, $20.
Or Where's My Line, I think. Are we here at the 33 or are we at the 34? 1st down situation much better because the Burro has not been good on 3rd down tries in the 2nd half. They are nothing for 4.
All right, now we do have it as a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
It's their 4th 1st down of this 2nd half.
7:02 left in the ball game. Willingboro has the ball in that 7-point lead. Here's the halfback, Rod Stuckett, bursting forward for about 10. I'll give him 9 on it because it's back just about to the 42, just shy of the sticks. A second down in one situation. In a situation, Bob, if Joe DeVito would like to gamble, put that fella up in the air.
Here you go. There's the handoff, and Cabahug finally comes in and makes the stop, and he got some help from Howie, number 12. As we're back to live action, that's what we mentioned a couple of series ago, John, about keeping him on to spread the offense around a little bit.
In the wishbone, on a 2nd and 1, got motion to the top of your screen, and once again, it is Stockett, and he is going to pick up a first down. Stopping him on the play, Bob Edgerly. Burrow keeping it on the ground and keeping that football away from the Chiefs.
The way the Cherokee offense has in the past 5 games run the football, as you look at their defense right now, time is not yet a factor, but of course every second that the Burrow holds on to the football makes life that much tougher for Cherokee. Joe DeVito is hitting in that pile down there, and on the far side, the counterparts, the Cherokee Chiefs, rather subdued on this mischief night.
The 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. The Burrow with an impressive couple of first downs, getting them out of their own territory deep. And there was some call for a little piling on there, but looks as though there's going to be no call. Booker with the carry, picked up a yard or 2. Locasal and Mattione, and they were looking for a late hit, as it did seem a trifle late, but a little momentum there. Probably the cause. Ball to the 46, 2nd and 8 at the 46. Cherokee, of course, number 1 in their conference, also seeded first so far in Group 3, right in front of Deptford at 5-0. Could lose an awful lot in this ball game. Pitch to the top of your screen. They go with a man who has carried the ball an awful lot the last series, but he is going to be stopped by pursuit. That's Rod Stockett. And he had nowhere to go, Bob. He just shed a tackler here, shed a tackler there. He just kept on seeing white shirts.
Didn't have quite the speed that he needed, as Todd Reichert, 6'1", 205 pounds, was over there and kind of riding him down on the far side of the field. Now it's 3rd and 11. It'll change your game plan a little bit, as the officials are going to call a timeout right now for the equipment repair out there on the field.
Well, they are looking for 3 C's out of the kids from Cherokee, Bob: commitment, caring, and challenge. Obviously patterned after their school with a C, Cherokee, and Jim Horner is looking for that challenge right now. He has found it, and so is his kids. This Willingboro Chimera team has played inspired football, looking to knock off the number 1 team. Now they're in a 3rd and about 11 situation, a very big defensive play for the Chiefs. Oh, here they come with Chambers, and he is upended on a fine play by the safety, Howie, and he has come up and made the big defensive play for the Chiefs.
It certainly was.
See a little extracurricular activity, and a smart move by one of the Willingboro Chimeras to say, hey, no unsportsmanlike conduct now. We still have that 7-point lead. They have to prove they can score. 4:25 left in the ball game. The time is a factor now. 17-10. The Burrow leads it, and they're going to have to punt now. Hines back at about his own 30-yard line. Carabassi single safety. Hines end over end boot. Carabassi at his own 25, looking to turn the corner. And there's Tim Oliver making the big defensive play on the bomb squad. Got a 5-yard return, but he wanted a lot more.
You don't think that Oliver is going to run him down. Number 70, there he is, pretty happy as they come off the field. Boy, he had the angle on Carabassi, but Carabassi's got plenty of speed. And from our vantage point, it looked for a while like Oliver was not going to be able to catch up with him, but credit number 70 that time with a great defensive play.
Carabassi is 5'4", 145, and bench presses 300 pounds and has got great speed. So it took an awful lot to get him down, but Oliver was equal to the task. 4 minutes to go in the ball game. 1st and 10 at their own 30. Cherokee has to traverse 70 yards to try to win this ball game. Straight up the middle they go. Diorio gets about 20 of that. Chalk it up for 17 yards. Rob Diorio just burst through the middle for a big gainer.
Well, that's what you got to worry about with this club. There's a kid that's got speed to burn, and that time he just about did this. Watch this. He gets through the hole so quickly, the line of scrimmage, right there. And that's what happens when you get 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage. They had to rely on the linebackers there to bring him down. And boy, the fans on the far side, I don't know if we get a shot of the Cherokee fans on the far side or not, but boy, they've really come to life. They're hooting and hollering over there with 3:22 left to go here in the contest. Their team down by 7 points. They've got the football on that play, as you can look at them, calming down just a bit right now, but the Cherokee Chiefs hopefully got the momentum on that play right there by DiOrio.
16 yards, 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. With 3:22 to go, Cherokee would have to score and get the 2-point extra point. They're in the power I. Quick snap. DiOrio left side gets about 5 more past midfield to about the 49-yard line. He rips up big chunks, but the clock is his enemy.
And he's working behind some good blocks on the left side of that line. Again, the center, Tom Alvord, has done a great job all day long. 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, and they are just doing a real superb job on the left side of that line. Steve Carbone's another kid that has played well from start to finish.
2nd and 4 at midfield. DiOrio, the workhorse now, looking to go to the outside, and he does. Gets 1st down yardage, and that's what makes him probably an all-South Jersey performer, Bob. He knew he couldn't go all the way. Might have gotten a couple more by putting his head down, but he got out of bounds to stop the clock. A heady play.
Blazing speed. I remember when we saw Anthony Modalese for Hamilton, who was a scoring champ back in about 1972. Probably got through the hole quicker than anybody that I've seen. And here's DiOrio. He just really does burn. He's finally run out of bounds over there on the far side of the field, chased out by a couple of the Willingboro defenders. But boy, does he get to that line of scrimmage in a hurry.
Got 8 to the 42, 1st and 10. Now they try the trap up the middle to McKenna just to keep him honest. And McKenna gets about 5 or 6 more. Another fellow that we saw hit the hole pretty good now has got a chance on the special teams for the Eagles, Bob. Calvin Murray of the Millville Thunderbolts. He was quite a ball player in high school.
Might have been the best all-round offensive player that you and I saw in the last 10 years.
2nd and 5 at the 37. Rob DiOrio looks like he's got enough for the 1st down. He had to get to the 32-yard line. He is very close to it. 2:20 and counting. 17-10. Willingboro leads it, and they have a timeout, I believe, for measurement. Officials timeout. Willingboro player sitting on the field. I don't believe he is injured. You can see him there. He's taking a rest.
It's tough when you talk to a coach and say, what do you think about this DiOrio player? Well, the talk from Joe DeVito was, well, he's a good athlete. He's got plenty of speed, and he runs well. So he's very intelligent. So he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He said he kind of do everything.
That's about it in a nutshell. It's amazing. And Jim Horner, by the way, has done just about everything, Bob. Paulsboro High School graduate, lives in Hainesport now. He has had some great teams for the past 11 years in South Jersey. It's a 3rd and 1. Who gets it? You got it. DiOrio, he's got 1st down yardage.
Using DiOrio exclusively. 27 carries, 142 yards. He carried the ball 15 times in that first half of play. 12 times here in this second half. Just doing a super job, and they're going in a hurry to the line of scrimmage.
2:07 and running. 1st and 10 at the 27. Here comes Rob again, looking to go to the outside. Shaw's got him, though. Of course, now they're running a hurry-up offense. They don't like to pass. They may have to waste to pass one of these downs to try to stop the clock. 1:49 and running.
A great finish.
2nd down and 10 at the 27. No gain on that play for DiOrio. In the power I, the trap play to McKenna, carrying people down to the 18-yard line. Very close once again to 1st down yardage. With 1:35 to go, the clock is stopped, possibly for a measurement. Yes, Bill Lyons wants to look it over. Bob, just a tremendous ending to an exciting high school football game. You'll see McKenna carry people around again.
Well, they faked everybody that time because they were looking for DiOrio. He went wide to the right side. They got a good block again, Carbone on the left side, who's done a super job. Patain, number 66, also there. And they really did open up a nice hole on the left side. They're short by just a little bit. It'll pick up a 3rd down call. They're 0 for 4 on 3rd down tries.
No bet against them here. It's 3rd and 1 at the 18, but only 1:35 to go in the ball game. They remain in the power I. It's DiOrio, nearly got the whole thing. Needed one more to get down to the goal line. Stopped at about the 11, got plenty though. Enough for the 1st down. It's 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line, so they can get a 1st down at the 1. They may not have enough time for that. They just want to get the score and forget about it. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line with 1:20 to go. DiOrio gets 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 yards.
That time they went off the other side. Alvord, the center, Macarella, and Ritchie, the guard and the tackle on the right side. Big hole opened up. He got 6 yards down to the 4. He's got 154 yards on the day, 30 carries. That's an awful lot for a kid in high school ball.
Second and about 3.5 from just beyond the 4. 55 seconds to go. DiOrio very close to the goal line, but shy of it. Just an unbelievable finish to a ball game. 48 seconds left in the contest. It is now a 3rd down and 1 at the 3.
Everybody's on their feet, John.
Excuse me, Bob. 3rd and about 1.5. Mishandled the football to Drew France. Willingboro says they have it, but let's wait for the indication. Never really had the snap. There's a timeout with 30 seconds to go. It was a 3rd and about 1.5 situation at the 3-yard line. They unpile, and it is indeed still Cherokee Chief football. They call timeout. It'll be 4th down and about 1. Bob, one of the best football games we've seen in a long, long time. It's had everything. Good defense, spectacular running, and a great finish.
I mean, it's 4th in the ball game coming up. There's the loose snap. Willingboro thought they had it right off the bat. The officials weren't too sure until they unpiled, but France managed to come up with it. John, if you're down here and you've got DiOrio, who's carried for 156 yards, you've also got an outstanding runner in McKenna, who's carried the ball so far for 64 yards. It's kind of a toss-up between the two, but if you're Jim Horner and give the ball to anybody but DiOrio, you would be probably surprising most people in the ballpark. The defense for Willingboro's got the game on their shoulders right now.
I'd have to say that student body right play to DiOrio, because at least he could try to use his speed to get to the outside, but you can't go against that trap play up the middle to McKenna. Both of them have worked. Here it is, the ball game, folks. Watch it for yourself and enjoy it. 4th and 1 at the 2 with 29 seconds to go. 17-10 Willingboro. Chiefs got the ball. DiOrio has it. No indication from the referee. Didn't get a touchdown, I don't believe, but remember, he could get a 1st down.
Yes, he could. That's the one thing that the Willingboro fans...
I think they're forgetting that, Bob. He may not have made a touchdown, but he may have made the 1st down.
And I believe he did. He got close enough to get the 1st down, and there's 21 seconds to go. They're not even going to measure for it, John.
Unbelievable. I would have thought that they would measure.
Jim Horner is calling for the measurement, and they're going to bring out the chains. I think he made the 1st down, and the officials had signaled that they were going to go the other way. This could be very interesting. We're back to live action, the Willingboro bench on the sideline, and they're going to bring out the chains. And John, I think he made the 1st down.
It is an unbelievable call to be made without a measurement, Bob, as we take a look at it.
And he did. They made the 1st down.
Gutsy call, Bob. I thought he did too, but the way the referee just immediately signaled the other way, I think he just basically forgot it was that close.
He certainly did, and like I said, John, I didn't think there was any doubt about it. He almost got to the goal line. They only had to get down to about the 1-yard line, and he's inside the 1 there.
Here it is, once again, 19 seconds left. Timeout by the referee. Wants to see the kids lined up correctly. They may have 2 plays left. 17-10. Willingboro has the 7-point lead. Cherokee has the football at the 1. France tries it himself, and he's in.
With 9 seconds to go, France goes in for the touchdown, and of course the extra point. And if you're the coach of the #1 team now, what do you do, John?
Oh, there's no question about it, Bob. No question about it. And the drama still is to be unfolded here at Willingboro. Surprising call in my mind, Bob.
It was to me, too. France went in, and right behind the kid we've talked about all day long, Tom Alvord, the center at 6 feet, 185. Excellent block right behind him in for the score. And you've got to go for the 2 points. I'm sure that's what you meant when you said no doubt about it.
I believe I forgot to tell you that I would go for it, but I think everyone would figure out what I meant. In the I formation for the 2-point extra point. DiOrio puts his head down, and he's in. An incredible ending to an incredible game. And look at the frustration mirrored in the faces of Willingboro and the elation on the side of the Cherokee Chiefs. There they are. They won't let DiOrio breathe. What a tremendous football game. And there's a penalty flag thrown on the field. It might be a delay of game call against the Chiefs.
Here you go. DiOrio to the right side, in for the 2. And there's an infraction there. It was after the play, I'm sure, John. The Willingboro people, I think, on our side of the field feel that it may affect the outcome of that extra point, but it's not going to do it. It's going to affect the kickoff right now.
Exactly.
At least that's what I think. Now, they've got the ball back at about they're looking back at about the 10-yard line, but it was definitely a dead ball foul, and I think they called unsportsmanlike conduct or delay after that penalty because of everybody coming on the field and things of that nature. So they're going to have to kick the ball off from down at about the 25-yard line.
I know the call, Bob. It's both arms straight up in the air. It's called unrestrained elation. They were 15 yards against him for that. Just another